Hey everybody, this is Marion Cowagowan.
And this is David Owen.
And this is You Show Me Yours Rewatches, Degrassi Junior High, Season 2, Episode 12, ... He's back.
Yes.
The ellipses are very important.
Punctuation. Yeah, well,
Yes.
right. And you can't, in audio, you can't get that across.
Right.
You have to pronounce it.
Exactly. So we have to say, we of course are watching this on DVD, and so we see the way that the DVD punctuates it versus the Wikipedia entry, and there's some question about is there a space after the ellipses, which doesn't affect how it's spoken, but now I'm wondering what style guide they use, and it's a whole thing. And if you're like, this chick is crazy, yes, I am. It's an occupational hazard. I don't know what to tell you, but ... He's back.
Yeah. Well, it's space. He's back on the DVD menu. I think.
Oh, and then the title card on the actual episode, there's no space.
There's no space.
Right.
And then on the episode name list that I use for naming the episodes, I don't even think there's an ellipse on it.
What?
I'll confirm, but I'll include it even if.
No consistency. Come on.
I know. Come on.
I mean, yeah, this is what we need. Continuity, people.
Yeah, and then that's like an overview thing. So I don't know where it's sourcing those episode names from. So that it's a whole rabbit hole we've got to go down on. We'll do a sub episode where we just investigate.
Exactly. Yeah. Anyway, this has been your Nerd Minute. Actually, who are we kidding? This whole thing is your Nerd 30 Minutes.
Yes, years of nerding.
But who is he? Where is he back from? Is this good or bad? We're going to find out. So if you've been with us for a while, you remember, I believe it was episode 2 of this season, when Lucy was sexually harassed. I'm sort of putting air quotes around it. But,
shoulder groped.
Yes, by Mr. Colby, a substitute teacher, who now we've got girls in multiple grades, because in that episode and this one, they're telling us that he's hot.
Yes.
He is not hot.
I mean, so I think in school, you grade on a curve. Kids in school, especially like middle schoolers, grade on a curve.
Sure.
Because, they are not face to face with hot people that often, like with attractive people.
Yes.
Like, who is it? Melanie, I think, says that he looks like he's from a soap opera. Like,
yes.
And that, sure, on some level. But yeah, it's just... For the girls of Degrassi, it is a 30-something, maybe 40 male teacher that wears interesting sweaters, Cosby-esque at times.
That one that's like cyan.
Yeah,
that hurts your eyes to look at.
Yeah, and so I think it's grading on a curve, and I can tell you from my school days that I had teachers that the boys thought were hot.
Mm-hmm. So would 12-year-old you have thought Miss Avery was hot? Because I think she's hot. I'll say it.
I don't think so, because Miss Avery has mom energy. She has kind of like crunchy mom energy. And one of my friends, she reminds me a lot of his mom, and both of his parents had sort of like crunchy hippie parent energy.
Yeah.
And so, like I don't think I would have thought she was hot.
Okay.
But like, some of my teachers were like the literal, like straight out of Central Casting, old teachers with the blouses with the buttons, tighten up very high.
Yep.
Skirts and very plain, sensible shoes.
So comparatively.
Yeah. Well, so comparatively, sure. But yeah, no, I don't think I would have. And also she's normal, right? She's like, she's the thing you see all the time.
That's true. I was thinking, I think between Mr. Colby and Mr. Radich,
right?
Mr. Radich is way better looking.
Sure.
And is sometimes funny.
Yeah.
And is never creepy.
Yeah, and I think the thing with Colby that is, so some of the girls are finding him immediately dreamy, but he kind of comes in and he sort of makes a little bit of a joke, because when he first comes in this time, they are talking about all the pranks they could play on her, her being their surely female substitute teacher, and then he comes in and kind of, is like, yeah, all those jokes are lame. This, somebody makes the comment that they're lame. He agrees that, yeah, those jokes are lame. They've been done before. Yeah. And kind of maybe ingratiates himself a little bit. And, it's the Raditch is stuffy. He wears the suits and the sport jackets, and this guy's wearing fun sweaters.
This guy wears a sweater, so he's cool.
This guy's got tight slacks and fun sweaters. What more could you ask for if you're 12?
His
13?
Hands off my shoulders. Yes. But I was thinking, because and I think Melanie frequently throughout the series is the one who's like, oh, he's so like
she's a horn dog.
Yeah. She is boy crazy.
Yes.
And I was a little bit at that age too. I mean, I was boy crazy because the boys were not crazy about me. It was this, and I didn't ever have crushes on teachers, but I definitely get that feeling of like, it's just like your radar is up all the time.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, if I notice everyone who's attractive, maybe they'll notice me back. But it's almost scary to think about how common it must be for teenage girls in that like 12 to 16 range to be thinking about adults in terms of sex, or not even sex, but just attractiveness. And if you come across the wrong guy who is going to think you're serious, or he doesn't have the judgment, or he doesn't listen to you when you say, oh, hang on, just kidding. I mean, it's like a sandbox for girls to figure out what they're attracted to and how they feel about it and all this stuff. And it's so easy for men like this guy to take things way too far.
Yes.
Of course, this guy he's not in the sandbox. He's outside the sandbox.
Yes. Being
creepy and pervy. And it takes him like 2 days every time.
Yeah.
So we saw previously with Lucy, like he's apparently a decent teacher.
Yeah, like
he gets through to people. He has a good classroom style. He's got a good camaraderie with the kids, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. But then he does this thing where, like he picks somebody and he focuses on them. And he's like, I could tell you're more mature than the rest. Yeah. And then in his move is shoulder touching.
Yes.
And so back up. And when we start the episode, so it turns out that Lucy did not report anything last time. I thought that she had.
Yeah, it was kind of left up in the air, and and there had been some witnesses, and it seems like ultimately
she didn't.
And you assume that like this guy has been skating on this for quite some time. Like his MO seems to be target a girl, massage her shoulders, creepily admire her silk scarf, and then disappear after that.
Yeah,
when she rejects him.
She doesn't immediately roll over and say, yes, please, ravish me. Then he just goes on to the next place. I don't know. So she didn't report anything, and she keeps saying, oh, nothing happened, but she's having nightmares about it where she's just reliving it. So, okay, that's our context. And we have some exposition. She doesn't look very good. She says, I didn't sleep very well. And I think that's LD is like, you still feeling bad about this? You should tell somebody. And she's, no, nothing happened.
Well, I don't think that doesn't trigger till he actually shows back up.
Okay.
I don't think.
All right.
Yeah. No, nobody's like LD. I don't recall LD suspecting, oh, this might be related to Colby.
But we know
because they've already shown us the dream.
Yeah. So he shows up, and this time he is substituting for Miss Avery, and so he's got a new grade to perv on. And he selects Susie, who is trying to put together the last little bits of the yearbook. And she says to him, hi, Miss Avery was our yearbook advisor. She's not here. Can you help us? Part of me is like, why do you, that can wait, but okay, sure. Fine. The plot needs her to be connected.
They're making it sound like they're on a deadline, which seems like it would be like the end of the week.
Sure.
Because Lucy is supposed to submit some pictures, and she's like, can't wait till Monday. And they're like, no, it's got to be by Friday.
Yeah. And
Colby is their substitute teacher for the rest of the week.
Sure. And Mr. Colby introduces her to this wonderful invention called a collage.
Yes, she's I don't know which pictures to include. He's like, oh, you could try a collage.
Yes.
Let me show you.
Yeah, please don't anybody ever do this, because I've seen them in yearbooks. Like, it looks tacky and everything's too dark, and it just pick some. Make a choice. Anyway, this has been your yearbook design minute. So the first time nothing happens, it's fine. Although Lucy sees what's going on.
Yes. Well, he's, Lucy has bumped into him, and she tries to, she tries to warn Susie,
but she just says, be careful with them.
Yeah,
I can't tell you anything, just be careful, which of course is super vague, and Susie's like, whatever. Susie,
because she's already kind of mad at Lucy for not getting these pictures in on time,
right,
making her job of organizing this yearbook even harder.
Yeah. And she gets some good snark. Lucy still has community service from the shoplifting thing, or she did, and now she's just doing it because she likes it. She's volunteering at a daycare center, I guess.
Yeah, some kind of after school program or something.
And one of the kids she's helping is Susie's little sister.
Yeah.
And Susie goes to pick her up, and Nora Jean has a picture that she drew that she gives to Lucy, and Susie is all pissy and is like, at least someone has pictures. Like, okay, sure, fine. Yeah. And Nora Jean's going to be important in a second. So yeah, so day one of Susie and Mr. Colby is fine.
Yeah, and I think with Susie it's fine. Sorry.
Yeah. And but day two, he goes into his MO.
Well, before that, we get to see Wheels and LD, who immediately key in on the fact that Lucy is agitated by the return of Mr. Colby on day one, and they try to broach the subject with her. That's when we find out she didn't report him before.
Right.
They try to, as witnesses, to his previous actions, they try to reassure her that they're there for her. And you're just really seeing more of this. Wheels is a stand-up dude, and also LD is a real friend, and you get to see a little more of the sort of Lucy sees him enter the library and gets tense, and they kind of know something's up. So, and they're trying to encourage her in the background, sort of building. Encouraging her to report him, sort of building up, some of the fruits that will be harvested later in the episode.
And Lucy is doing a lot of the things that we see in sexual assault survivors. She's saying nothing really happened. Maybe I led him on, et cetera, et cetera. And, if you just look at this on its own, you're like, you're 13. You didn't lead anybody. But like, this is a stand-in for way worse stuff happening.
Well, and it's a stand-in. Yeah, it's stand-in for way worse stuff, but it's also just the realistic way in which even young women are sort of taught to view this sort of thing. Like one thing that I think that they don't explore here, because it's kind of it's a kids show, and it's more about encouraging them to report things and all these sorts of things, but there is at this time, there is a good chance that her report would not have been believed.
Yes.
He, like we said, he seems to be an effective substitute, an effective teacher. There is some question, one of the kids is like, oh, why doesn't he have a permanent job? And we know why, is the audience. But yeah, there is, we're in that time frame, right? That sort of 70s, 80s, into the 90s time frame.
We're still in that time frame.
No, we're still in that time frame, but I think that there has been significant motion in the correct direction. But we're in that time frame of, who do you think they're going to believe? I'm an award-winning substitute teacher that they call on whenever they need help.
Yeah.
And you're the little girl who's doing community service for shoplifting.
Yeah.
They don't explore any of that sort of thing of like making her feel trapped, making her feel, and they don't explore, like I said, like the full outright, like they could have done a whole episode on the actual how does the school take the reaction, or how does the school react? Because at the end of this episode, we're sort of left to think, which we'll know hopefully at some point in the next episode or two, that once the kids do, spoiler, get up the courage to report, that's going to be taken seriously. But I do think that's something that they could have maybe explored if this were Degrassi High and not Degrassi Junior High. That might have been worth exploring, of like the idea that he could have been like sort of like maniacal, like telling her, gripping her by the silken scarf and saying, who do you think they're going to believe? You're just the little thief. Do you want I'll tell them that you did something. You'll get more community service. You'll get your probation revoked, which, would have been a much darker and much more sinister thing, but also much closer to what some girls would have been, young women would have been going through at the time.
So day 2 with Susie and Mr. Colby is when he makes his move.
Well, I don't want to keep beforing that, but we get the moment where Lucy walks in, and he's teaching her about collages, teaching Susie about collages. Lucy drops her stuff, and that sort of, that was what made me think to talk about the whole thing about if she's going to be believed or not, because they sort of almost kind of, plant the seeds for that, and for her saying, maybe I let him on. She drops her notebook. Lucy drops her notebook, pronouns, pal, and runs away. Colby naturally picks up her notebook and chases her throughout the school, finally cornering her in the gym, where he sort of talks at her of like, nothing happened, right?
Remember?
Remember, it was just an innocent, and nothing happened, and we're friends, right? And here's your notebook back in the creepiest way possible.
He's so, I wonder, did the actor have to work at that, or is that just natural?
And that actor, he didn't do a whole lot more. He had a reoccurring role on some other Canadian show for like 6 or 7 episodes, and then did a couple more things before falling off the face of the earth. But like, sometimes there's actors, like Bill Moseley is one. He played Chop Top in Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. And he has just spent an entire career playing creepy dudes. Just like,
that's
weird,
always unsettling.
Creepy, and like he's been in a bunch of Rob Zombie's movies, and he just, and at the end of the day, like he's the normalest dude. Like,
you want to see that.
And he actually like took many years off of acting to raise his daughter, and like seems to have a wonderful relationship with her, and like, but then you see him, and he's in saying some of the messed upest shit, and doing some of the craziest stuff in these movies, and like at the end of the day, you just like take it off like a wet shirt and throw it away.
But when someone is that good at being creepy, I really, really, really need to see, like, I need them on the Tonight Show being completely normal, and like show me that that is actually acting.
Like I need some behind the scenes of Jason Isaacs laughing.
Right,
with Heath Ledger,
and
palling around with Mel Gibson.
It took me so long to be able to watch Jason Isaacs in a regular role and not hate him, because between that and Malfoy, it's like, oh my god, he's terrible.
The funny thing is, his most humanizing role that we've seen him on this podcast was Event Horizon, where he plays the level-headed scientist doctor who knows Latin. So that is what prompts Lucy to do the watch out for him to Susie in the hallway on the second day. And now you can on the second day.
And Susie is like, what? Okay, that's weird. He's fine. He's a good teacher. I don't know what you're talking about. And then he instantly goes for his shoulder press.
Yes, his patented move.
He closes the door. Which is, and I was thinking earlier, like all the doors, the classroom doors have windows. So in a way, like it shouldn't make a difference closing the door because anyone can see, but like, nah, it kind of does.
But also it's after hours. Like,
that too.
So it's, you can see in the window, but who's looking?
There's not anybody there. And she's finalizing the page. She says, "Oh, the collage is great. We're gonna da, 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 da. And he just sort of instantly is like behind her, and he really looks like he's just sort of pressing down and holding her in place.
Yeah, at first he's like, "Oh, you're so tense," the classic line. And then she's kind of resisting, and he's sort of pressing her in place, and you get that, like, this is a television show. These are actual children.
Yes.
You can't traumatize them beyond this.
We can't be too realistic with what would happen.
With what would happen. But and so we might clown on it a little bit for not looking that serious, but it is a stand-in for something much worse.
Yes. But it is weird, like, why, like, the pressing down, but just imagine whatever else would be worse, and but she is not frozen at all, kind of like Lucy was, I think, a little bit frozen until Wheels came in. But Susie is like, she jumps away
immediately,
and get off me, and runs and goes to pick up her sister. Mm-hmm. Lucy is at the daycare center with her sister and sees Susie and instantly is like, "Oh, what did he do?"
Yeah.
And Susie, nothing. You don't know. And Lucy says, "No, I do, because he did it to me too."
So in the hallway, after she says he did it to me too, they have a teary embrace and a nice moment, even with Nora clasping on and saying, mm-hmm. "Don't cry." Mm-hmm. And presumably then after that, they have a conversation about going together to report him the next day. Mm-hmm. And then the next day, Wheels and LD are there to support Lucy. And Susie comes up. They learn that Colby is gone now. And Susie reasons that since he's gone, they don't have to report him, which was kind of the same reasoning that Lucy gave. Mm-hmm. And Lucy, I think, expressing her own regret for having not acted, convinces Susie to report by saying it could be Norma in a few years if we don't do something, that we have this responsibility. After that, they go in to report. And like we said, presumably their report will be taken seriously and Colby will be forever banished from
schools
the
Degrassi
and the greater Toronto education system.
We hope. Yeah. And again, we don't see an actual conversation, but they just say, "We need to see Mr. Lawrence." And the secretary says it would need to be important. It is.
Freeze frame.
Yeah. Poor Doris. She's got people running in and asking for things all the time, and Mr. Lawrence was like, "I need those numbers right away." She says, "Oh yes, right away, sir." And then she's got this.
Now she's got this.
Now she's got these kids.
Yeah, and so like I said, it would be interesting for them to explore, if the school believes them or not. But again, this is a show for children. Mm-hmm. And I think the message that you want to send for children is that when something like this happens to you, you should tell the responsible adult parties, because they will believe you.
Yes.
But I think, unfortunately, the reality in the late 80s, early 90s is that there would have been some significant pushback against Lucy.
Yes.
Even though she had two witnesses, and even against the two of them and their two additional witnesses. Mm-hmm. Because again, like, he's a pillar of the community. But you assume something like that happens. You start to, some responsible adult starts to dig, and you start to say, "Oh, mm-hmm. he always gets these substitute jobs, and then he disappears after a couple days. Mm-hmm. It's really weird, but everybody loves him for a couple days, and then he's just gone.
What happened? Yeah,
he just disappeared.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, Lucy, it would be very easy to not believe her. Also, very easy. Spike or Liz, if something happened.
Yeah.
Susie or Caitlin, but guys like that are able to keep doing this for a reason. They're good at squirming out of stuff.
Yeah, and it's almost like it made perfect sense for him to target Lucy because of her troubles.
Yeah, with Susie, doesn't quite make sense.
Right, Susie, it doesn't make sense. Like, it really does seem like he's gotten sloppy, so to speak. With his attempted molestations,
or he's kind of acting like a drug addict who just needs a fix and is like, "This is a warm body, this'll do." Like,
or sort of the when you try to do when you do a crime once and you get away with it,
Mm-hmm.
you get emboldened,
Mm-hmm.
and he maybe feels like he got away with the Lucy stuff. And so he's kind of emboldened this time around because, like in terms of targets, there are much better air quotes, targets for a predator like him.
I mean, Kathleen is right there.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't wish that on Kathleen, but like when it comes to damaged girls in that grade, she's completely there.
Yeah. But you right. You have targets that would be much better.
Yeah.
And you have targets that would be worse. What's her name? Susie's friend.
Oh, Caitlin,
right.
Yeah.
Clocks him immediately. She's like, I think he's kind of creepy.
Yeah.
But of course we've seen that with her. She's the female wheels. Like she's got a good head on her shoulders.
Or
for the most part.
Melanie, you could say that Melanie is a good target, but also then I think she is almost like, not that she would actually want a relationship with him, but like she's not like you would think she'd be a good target, but I think she actually wouldn't be. She would be like, it feels like there's
she's almost too good of a target.
Like, there's like quadrants here. Like Caitlin doesn't look like a target, isn't a target. Susie, Melanie looks like one, isn't one, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, for sure. But and I think that would he may be experienced enough to know that one would be more complicated.
Yes, more trouble than it was worth.
Yes. And also maybe he's just the certain type of real messed up pervert that doesn't want. She would be willing. He doesn't. Yeah. He doesn't like that.
Yeah.
If he rubs the shoulders and they lean into it,
he's like,
he's immediately turned off.
No,
because he's a
easy.
real type of creep. So don't not report people who predicate on you. Predicate on you.
Well,
is the moral, I guess, of this story?
And I think little things can turn into big things if you let them.
Yeah.
And there's nothing that's too small to talk about, really.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And I think one thing that you didn't say would have been the response, but I think it would have, is like, well, let's think about his future.
Right. Yeah, that too. Yeah. I mean, like, I don't want to bring, this is sensitive for you. I know I don't want to bring it up into a large discussion, but it mirrors what we would have seen with the Catholic Church around this time as things were coming out in the 70s and 80s of like, well, he's a pillar of the community and he's got 30 years into, we can't just ruin his, the way that they managed to convince parents to go along with this stuff was stuff like that. Well, look at all the good he does. And, this is, and we'll get him help. And we'll, you could have rolled into some plot like that with Mr. Colby, but like, he's our most dependable substitute teacher and we can't afford to lose him.
The kids really like him.
The kids really like him. I mean, the ones that he doesn't molest and like, he's really like, this is his career and he has a family to support. And, we couldn't just, throw him to the curb. Like there's like I said, there is a sort of Degrassi junior high or Degrassi like living life episode that goes into a very darker version of this where the victims don't get justice and the perpetrator gets to keep perpetrating.
Yes. I think though, better to speak up and not be believed than not to speak up at all, because just then you've done what you can. But easy for me to say. 100%. I have never been in that situation. I take it back. I kind of was. Not from a teacher. A classmate. We were, I think, 11. And I don't think he really knew what he was saying. But I think he was bugging me or something. He was being annoying. And he said, 1 kiss and a night in bed and I'll leave you alone. And like, I didn't really know what he meant even, but I was like, ew, what? Ugh. And I believe it was the night of our class Christmas play too, of all, like, so weird timing. So I told my mom and she was like, you need to tell your teacher.
Yeah.
And I did. And he talked to the kid and nothing like that ever. I think the kid finished out the year. But But like, it's so, yeah, like I really hope that he didn't understand what he was saying. He just heard that from his dad or an older brother or an uncle or whatever, and was trying to be cool.
A television show or movie he probably shouldn't have been watching. Like that.
And it's so like, and that's why this age group is so tricky, because they're trying so hard to be grown up.
Yeah.
Like Melanie's, everybody's sexy, everybody's hot. Like,
yes.
Stephanie, trying hard to be grown up and cool, but they're just children.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But they don't want to be, and but sometimes they do, and they're trying on all these identities, and and so maybe some girls in a Colby situation would be like, oh yes, this is a man, he sees me, this is what grown-ups do, grown-ups have affairs, and blah blah blah, and like, no, that's not at all what grown-ups do. Or grown-ups do that with grown-ups.
Yes.
So it's such a tricky age, and I'm so glad at this point that our kid is past that. He is in ages to make plenty of other mistakes, but not that one.
Plenty.
Yeah, it's
and
awkward.
If we putting a bow on that, the only other plot line from this episode is that Treasurer Boy is just basically one long joke segment of, like, I forget his name, the treasurer.
I think it's Alex.
Alex is trying to figure out how to close the gap, the $100 gap that they have for the publishing of the yearbook or whatever. And he's coming up with all these bad ideas: a shoe shine booth when everybody wears sneakers, a walkathon when everybody's in the middle of finals,
a casino night,
you
can't do gambling at school,
you can't gamble at school. And every time Caitlin is like, you could do what they did last year. And he's like, no, it's my responsibility to figure out a way to raise this money. And then at the end, finally, he, with his last bad idea, she says, just do what they did last year. And he's like, fine. What did they do last year? They just asked for more money.
Yeah.
Like, wah, wah.
Yeah, he tries so hard, and he's been that kind of character in a couple of other episodes too. Like, he's trying really hard, but just like, oh no, just don't. Yeah,
it's just like the writers didn't. They couldn't think of any, tight Arthur and Yick plot line or whatever. So it's just like, I don't know. We'll just do a running joke. You know, it's like 3 segments.
And they couldn't get the Max kid back to have Scooter and Max shenanigans.
Yes,
he's already dead from smoking.
Right,
probably.
Exactly. No, he's in the gutter somewhere.
Well, and there's another sort of loose, it's more foreshadowing. Wheels is stressing about doing well on his math exam. Joey is not stressing at all.
Yes, Joey's, so what are, how can you have negative numbers? It's not possible.
Right. And this is relevant because
some real forward thinking writing here.
Here we go.
They're really planting some seeds in episode to episode here.
Yes.
It's really nice.
The next episode, the title, I feel like they thought they were clever here, but it comes off like, in the grocery store, perhaps some of you live in more educated areas, but it'll say can vegetables.
Yeah.
Can, CAN. And so jokesters, canned vegetables, what? I don't know. It should be canned, CANNED.
Yeah.
Should be iced tea, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. So similar to that, the episode is called Pass Tense. Not past tense, but pass, PASS tense. Ha ha ha! And it's called that because as the semester ends, Joey learns he's being left back, which dampens his enthusiasm for the band's debut concert. I thought the Zit Remedy was over. We were told this.
It's tumultuous.
Yes.
This is
yeah. But behind the music,
Yeah.
And then also Spike goes into labor.
Oh my God.
I don't know what that has to do with past tense. I'm hoping that
that feels early.
Well, yeah. This is the end of the school year.
Okay. I remember Spike being pregnant for a lot longer than that.
Well, she found out.
I guess we'll see what happens.
She found out at the end of season 1, which was roughly like November, December. So, this is the. I think it's the Canadian weather is weirding me out because they're wearing, their exams, end of the semester, so like May or June, they're wearing heavy clothes. Yeah. In a lot of the scenes. Sometimes they're not. They're in shorts and tank tops. So, but I'm very confused about when in the year it is. But this, I think this is May or June.
Yeah, I think the thing that they're taunting you with is like they're saying like the Canadian weather is such that some people are fine in short sleeves and others are not really hot if they wear a big knit sweater. So like this could be you. This could be your life here in Toronto.
Wearing
you could wear sweaters in the summer.
In summer. That is kind of my dream.
Right.
Yeah. Although I'm told that Toronto is just as hot as US cities.
Well, yeah, you'd imagine. I mean, it's below some of the United States, well below some of the it's like on the same level as New York or whatever.
I think so. Yeah, and it's got all the concrete just like any city.
Yeah. So it's got all the cities.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's what happens next week.
Next time.
So, folks, we would love to know what you think about this episode. I can't really make any jokes about it because this is sort of a somber topic.
Yeah.
Did you think that any of your middle school teachers were hot, and did they wear Bill Cosby sweaters, which is sort of apt and in a sad way?
In retrospect, has become a red flag.
Yeah. It's like birds. When a man wears a sweater like that, stay away. Yeah. We would love to know your thoughts. Tell us about any of that stuff. You can reach out to us in a couple different ways. You can send us an email. Our address is ysmypodcast. That's ysmy for you show me yours @gmail.com. You can also find us on Facebook, same handle. You can DM us, or you can look at our main feed for links to all of our latest episodes. In 2026, we have new episodes every single Wednesday. The first Wednesday of the month, we do our usual YSMY thing and talk about movies and television that we loved before our first date. And then all the rest of the Wednesdays of the month, we are rewatching Degrassi Junior High. Next time, it will be, as we mentioned, past tense, which is the final episode of season 2. We are 2/3 of the way through the series.
Nice.
Look at that. It seems like it was just January. We're starting out with season 1. Yeah. So we have one season and an episode left to go. So, well, that's it. We will see you next time with past tense and Spike going into labor. In the meantime, this has been You Show Me Yours. Thanks for listening. Bye.
Bye.